and welcome to a very, very cold Brands Hatch. So much so that I can show you how cold it is. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is -1 degrees at the moment. It's freezing cold. So you may have seen in the last video, if you haven't already, I would check that out first. I've just put on some new suspension and uprated anti-roll bars on the Supra. So I've gone for BCBR, I believe they're called, coilovers, and then some Whiffbits anti-roll bars. So hopefully we should have eliminated the annoying scrubbing that you would have heard on every single track day video on the Supra, and even some of the road tests. Today we're going to see how the suspension fares. It's literally just gone on about 2 or 3 days ago, so I'm still kind of getting used to it, so we will be taking it a little bit slow, especially in the weather. I literally had to de-ice the car this morning and spent about half an hour de-icing it because my heater doesn't work properly. It's going to be a challenging day for sure. It's going to be quite slippy, but when's it ever easy, hey? I've not done Brands Hatch in the Supra before. I've only done it in the Civic before, which was a lot of fun. The first corner in particular is a wild ride, so looking forward to giving it a go. As I said, I'll be taking it super slow on the first few laps just to get used to the conditions. Annoyingly, they have stopped me from using my new GoPro angle at Brands Hatch, but I respect their opinion and I will just stick it to the roof this time. So it's just going to be a similar angle to how it used to be, annoyingly, for this one, but I have fixed the audio because the audio last time was a bit rubbish, so hopefully you should be able to hear the ITBs in all their glory. First item on the agenda is to take off the filter socks. Now obviously I keep these on for everyday use, but on the track I'm just going to take them off and let it sing. It gives me an extra, and I'm not even kidding, if you haven't seen the dyno video I would check it out, but it gives me an extra 20 horsepower just taking these socks off. You can see here my BC coilovers. I believe they're set to 4 settings away from hard at the moment. I'm not really sure what to set them to at the moment, so we'll just give it a go on that. Stepping out there on the braking. Wow, I didn't think, I knew it would be bad, but now I'm getting understeer here. no turning at all. And then we got a bit of grip here in the sunshine. Still fighting it. Relatively dry. Get a bit of speed through there, but here where we're in the shade, it's slippy again. So let's go third round here. We've got some grip on turning. And just be gentle coming out of it, that's it. And again, bit dry here. Got to be in third. Unfortunately, third's so long. This here is just all over the place. I feel the steering light there. And then this last corner is just a write-off. I've got nothing there. I've no grip. Third gear. Third gear is stepping out. Probably somewhat good timing that we came in, as that car's just stopped and we've now been red flagged. Wow, this is tough. I've said this so many times before in difficult weather and, you know, rain, but this is probably the toughest I've ever had on track. It's just slippy in random places, and you've got to be really careful. The first corner, thankfully, Paddock Hill Bend, which is probably the most fun corner, is actually quite dry, but there's just patches around that are just not dry where it's in shade, especially you know, coming around the second half of this track. And that last corner is ridiculous. I just cannot get any power down. I can't get any turn in either. Yeah, people are just dancing around me, which is fair enough. So on that note, it's quite hard to kind of give you a review of the coilovers as it stands. I have noticed that a couple of times when I've gone a bit quicker down Paddock Hill, it has scrubbed a little bit. So whether that means I do need to raise it up a little bit, possibly. I don't really want to do that. I don't really mind if it's scrubbing just the tiniest bit, as long as it's only, you know, under real hard pressure. And that first corner is obviously putting a lot of pressure on the coilovers, so it's probably, if it's going to do it anywhere, it will do it there. But anyway, in terms of the rest of today, I think we'll just have to wait a little bit for the track to dry out and there to be a proper dry line. Hopefully the more cars that go around, the more it'll dry up, the more it'll be a uniform level of grip around the track rather than just patches of dry and patches of wet. So yeah, you'll catch up with me when the red flag is over. That's what colour you want the track to be. That's a dry bit there, that's the one dry bit around the whole track. Alright, so it's lunchtime. Bit of feedback again on the track. It's still not dry. Struggling, just that second half of the track is just too slippy. Got somewhere on the second corner. Figured that if you went tighter, came with a tighter line around that hairpin right, you tend to have a bit more grip on the interior of that corner there, and coming out of it just a little bit more grip as well. Third corner is pretty much dry, so can come pretty much flat out in second out of there, but then the rest of the track is just way too slippery at the moment. The longer we go on during the day, the more it's going to dry. Obviously now, as we've stopped for lunch, there's going to be no one driving on the track, so it's going to take a little bit more to dry again. But either way, you know, it was quite a cheap day, because no one really wants to do a track day in the middle of January, so I'm the idiot for doing that. But anyway, still having fun, still enjoying testing out the limits of the car in this particularly slippery weather. So I just wanted to go have a quick walk around the paddock now and just see what's about. I won't pick out every single car because there's quite a lot of like minis and Caterhams and Megans and stuff which everyone's seen before. I'll just pick out some of the more special cars that are here. This is obviously very cool. I haven't actually seen it out on track yet, but it's a stunning car. This shape 911 will always be the best. How cool that they incorporated the intake into that spoiler. For those that have seen any of my videos before, I always appreciate seeing something different on the track. So we have a Mustang here. Now, the eagle-eyed of you might have noticed it's one of those EcoBoost ones. I still think these are cool. I would definitely have one. What engine is it? 120 brake. Yeah. How have you got that out of it? Huh? How have you got that out of it? Wow, fair play. It's very cool. Goes really well as well. Yeah. I was following behind it before. I mean, it obviously weighs nothing, but still. Very cool.
Bit slippery with 36 though.
No, it's definitely cool to see an old Mini like that rather than a BMW Mini. It said 120 brake horsepower from his, what, bored out to 1300cc he was saying. Or 1380 I think he said. So, yeah, with weighing probably, what, 600 kilos, something like that. I can imagine that flies around. Not often you see early Integras. I love these strip lights on it as well, rather than the circle ones. Very purposeful in there, isn't it? Pretty serious Integra. He was just saying he's doing a race series with it, so he's just kind of getting used to the car and bedding it in on the track at the moment, but he's having problems with the rear brakes and that, so he's not going as quick as he'd like to go. But yeah, very nice piece of kit, running a B18 engine with throttle bodies, so snap. Is it?
It's a Sunny Howard pickup truck. It's a space frame.
Space frame.
Space frame. You take a bonnet off for that?
Oh, do you mind?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Well, the frame and all the bodies.
I wasn't expecting to see a 4-cylinder in here. Throttle bodies. What engine's this from?
This is a 2.3 Duratec.
Duratec, yeah.
Two of these, this one 2.3 Duratec and the other one's got 2.5 Duratec.
Right.
It's all run by the championship.
Nice. Yeah, I've got to say I've never seen anything quite like this on the track. Amazing.
There's like 30 of them.
Is there?
Really close racing there as well.
Yeah.
You wasted these screen. Look what you've done. That's right, it's only driven. We don't need it on the computer anyway. You go, right, you use it all up there.
It's a real shame these aren't more reliable and fuel efficient, because they are very cool. 5 litre naturally aspirated V10, 500 horsepower. In an estate car. Alright, so those are the main highlights of what's here today. There's obviously a few other cars. The track is now open, so some of them are going back out. So let's go around again. We'll keep trying to get some sort of temperature in the track and the tyres. see if we have any better results. Alright then, so that's day done. A good amount of laps in the second half of the day. First half of the day was pretty much a write-off, and second half wasn't that great either. It dried a lot, so much so that braking zone into the second corner and the last corner entirely were the only two spots where I was really struggling. Braking zone wasn't too bad because it's uphill, and as you're braking, you know, the front wheels are trying to lock. I've got ABS and that was kicking in there, so you can scrub the speed off well enough. It wasn't too much of a problem. It was just the last corner, I just couldn't get any speed into it and out of it, and everyone here was struggling as well, same situation. I had that BMW E46 M3 was going sideways alongside me. I did get a little bit tempted to try and do a bit of twinning with him, but he got a telling off from the stewards on the next corner, so probably shouldn't have done that anyway. Now, I wanted to give a good review on these coilovers today, but I haven't really been able to, as I said, because it's been so slippery out there. I haven't been able to lean on them quite as much as I'd hoped I would. What I can tell is going into Paddock Hill Bend in that first corner, as you come right and down the hill, it puts up with, you can get some good speed there. You can carry a lot of speed through there, and it does have a bit of scrubbing on there, but I think because it's kind of almost like a bomb hole and you're turning right and it's a high speed corner, I think that is probably going to be one of the highest sort of scrubbing areas of anywhere probably on the UK circuits. So the fact that it's scrubbing a little bit I'm not too bothered about. I'll be interested to see how it handles at Alton Park if we still have some scrubbing there. If so, then I'll probably have to just raise the height a little bit. It's not actually that low really. I mean, we've probably got the same arch gap there as we did before. It's at the fronts where it's quite a lot lower, but I don't think it's scrubbing at the front. I think it's more at the rear. So the good news is I am doing another track day at Alton Park next week, so you'll have to expect that video shortly after this one goes out. Hopefully it's a little bit warmer by then, but then again it's up north, so it's even colder up north, so I can't imagine it will be. However, because I've driven Alton Park so many times now, even if it is similar conditions to what we're dealing with today, then hopefully I might be able to give more of a review of the coilovers. So far I'm quietly confident in them. The only thing I would say is that the rear end felt quite wandery, especially coming around that third corner, the left-hander. If I changed down into second there and tried to put the power on, didn't really feel that composed. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. It could very well be that the setup isn't quite right with the coilovers, and I need to get that new lower arm on. So there's a few things that I need to sort out, but all in all, it was a fun day. There's probably not much point doing this, but I will flash up the lap time at the bottom. I think my Civic lap time, the best one was about 1 minute 1 second, so I imagine this is going to be way over that, so there's not really much of a barometer to compare it with. It would have been really interesting to see, had this been a dry day, how it stacked up in comparison to the Civic on this particular circuit. I know that I've managed to beat the Civic's time at Alton Park, but then again I wasn't on semi-slicks for the Civic and I was on the Supra. One little thing I obviously didn't mention on the last Alton Park video was the fuel consumption, which I worked out after the track day. I did about 115 miles to a full tank, and worked it out to be approximately 8.4 miles to the gallon. I've never had it as bad as that. That is pretty horrendous, especially as it's naturally aspirated and only pushing out, yeah, about 280 horsepower. So anyway, what can you do? It's a 3 litre straight six on throttle bodies with bigger injectors, so it's to be expected. I can't really tell what I've done fuel consumption wise on this track day. I imagine it would be a little bit better because I haven't been pushing it quite as much, but I have had to fill up already and gone through half a tank again already, so yeah, not good. But if I wanted a car that did good fuel consumption, I would have bought a Prius or something, or Prius, or however the hell you pronounce it. Anyway, that's probably enough blabbing from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Look out for another video coming fairly soon from Alton Park. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. If you don't, then don't bother, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.